Welcome to my channel, Saw Logs Plastic Hubs. It's Slop in the shop time. So we get our little pig bucket out here with all our little scraps that we've got together for video and making your weekly video blog of what I'm doing. Sort of like pig slop in the old days. I hope you enjoy Slop in the shop. Please comment on these videos. And with no further ado, we're going to grab the bucket, go feed the pig, grab your seat over and watch these pigs eat. Let's have a great time. I'm actually going to do this in a slop video, and it's because I probably really just haven't done this, and I'm not going to do a full-blown shop tour. I'm just going to, I've done some rearranging in the shop. So I thought today would be a good time just to kind of roll the camera around for a couple of minutes and do a quickie, my arrangements and how my building is going or the shop's going. One of the things that I do want to remind you that this building is 14 feet wide by 20 feet long. And like Lee Eden, Mr. Pragmatic Lee, I do have a wooden floor. The shop is really strongly braced. I don't have any concrete piers under any of the machines, but the machines are fairly sturdy as far as the lathe and mill goes. So, with that being said, we're going to start over here near the door in the corner. And right there on wheels is my Craftsman vertical bandsaw that's been converted to minimum, a 12-incher, and featured in lots of my videos. And my broom doesn't have a home. It kind of moves around. If you'll notice, it's propped up the side of it. We'll slide the camera over just a bit. And, you see a lot of the videos about the U.S. General boxes. Well, I bought mine several years ago. And I done it because I had little scatter tool boxes. And in my U.S. General boxes are all my hand tools that I collected over my lifetime. I'm 63 years old, and there's tools in this box that belong to my dad. There's tools in this box that I used as a kid. There's tools in this box that was given to me as a kid by my parents. And there's tools I've collected over the years. I mean, there's all sorts of hand tools, mechanic tools, pliers, screwdrivers, just anything you might need to work on stuff. I've got plumbing tools to do PEX pipe, anything like that I keep in the box. And I'm going to kind of move the camera again. And right beside it's where I put my hydraulic press that I picked up at the auction. I keep it turned that way so I can get in there to it. And then right behind it's my sticker wall and my, my dry erase board. And right now the yellow pad is something I've already done, just hadn't thrown away. The other note you see sticking up there is a future project that I'm going to be working on. And in behind the lathe in the corner is where I tend to keep, I got two shop vacs in here and I need to get one of them out of here. The big one really is nice, but it's just too big, too bulky to get around in this shop. And sort of behind my lathe, and I've got pegboard that's put back there, and I've just got a lot of different things hung on it. Drywall squares, long rules for carpentry and that type of work, levels, just whatever I got is hung behind the lathe there. And here, here's my Grizzly lathe. Here's the way I had it set up. And if you'll notice, it doesn't have the beauty panel in it underneath it there. I've told this several times, the beauty panel kind of met a tragic end. We put the lathe together to begin with. And I basically made a shelf and bolted it in for storage. So there's my chucks and my collets. I got, the way I did mine is I put angle on both ends and welded it so I could bolt it long ways to the floor with these wooden floors. That works really well. So right above it is two drill organizers on my lathe. And one of them is S&D's. It's made out of some of them aluminum things that you've seen me use that my brother-in-law has given me. And so with that being said, that's there. I don't have many more MP3 drills. I just have a few there in that storage. there's a shelf that runs all, there's shelves that run all along these walls that tools and stuff are stored on, just hand tools or whatnot. And kind of moving over just a bit to this corner, we're going ahead and you've got or a lot of my tooling, what I don't have stored on the lathe, as you notice, there's in that little blue shelf that came from a yard sale actually. The wrenches you see hanging there works my knurling tool. The top, I've got a little piece of sheet metal basically screwed to the top of it so those indicators will sit there magnetized out of the way. And then all my other tools, the most used tools are on the lathe. The ones you see above the lathe is other ones I use. And there's my Hewitt drill organizer for standard drills. And also, if you'll notice, there's indicators and stuff hanging on the side of it. That's just where I put them. The reason the towel's hanging in, well, and the wrench for the ER collets and everything. The reason why I have a lot of that stuff, and on the top rack under the towel, there is a all my ER32 collets. And if you'll come around to the lathe here in this corner, you see I've got my centers, I've got the D-burrs mounted here where you can see them. Real nice and handy setup. And I'm going to kind of go on over this corner a little more. And in this corner, there I have a picture of that's the first win I had with my Phantom cart when I was kart racing. Back when I done kart racing, I had my first kart was a Twister made in Blacksburg, and I never could keep it consistent. And I run at this particular track near Blacksburg, and they don't run anymore. At the time I won this race, they were still calling it Cody's Pride. Jason Owens and his late wife run this kart track. I raced for him for a couple of years. And they switched the name back to the original name of the track a little later in this season. About 6 months after that picture was taken, I got hurt in a kart wreck and had to kind of get out of kart racing. So I got one more picture. I don't know where I ever saved it, the other win picture. But I mean, you've probably seen it on my page. I got another little yard shelf there, and I keep oils, stuff like that on it. I got a decimal chart, and Tom gave me the color code chart there from, it's an old one here from Edgecombe Steel, which is no longer a steel stripper, no longer in business in this area. Edgecombe, when I went to work in the very first machine shops I worked in, they was the steel supplier we used out of Charlotte. I always remember they had blue trucks that come in every once in a while. And I'm going to kind of back up, and right there is my mill, my Lagoon FT2 mill. And this thing is something I picked up, and you've heard the story about it. And I use it quite regularly, and it's been, I've worked on it. I actually got a paint cup sitting on it now, but my cart bias, my homemade bias handle, all the things you've seen me use. Then we'll just kind of go over here to there's the DRO that's on it. We'll kind of go over here to the corner, and then I, just like everybody else, have things stored up. If you'll look high, I've got all the hand drills. My Milwaukee's in a separate one over here, which I'm using for a drawbar wrench. I can't put my drawbar in. I don't have the space in the shop that a lot of people have. The very end drill is the one I have my raising and lowering tool in it. There's 2 impact guns, 2 drills there. You'll notice I've got a key drill chuck, and I've got one of those handmade. All my collets there, one of the brackets are handmade, one isn't. My clamp set, just whatever. And the other week when I done my video about rearranging the shop, you'll notice that I've got it now done. I've got this set up here, which I apologize for. This is some used motor oil. I'm going to fix another project for in the stump that I want to burn out. And I've got a lot of stuff stored on the back of behind my shelves, behind my workbenches. on pegboard. It's odd and end stuff. This files, grinding belts, those big putty knives, a couple extra welding helmets I never used. This stuff. And if you'll notice right there, I don't know if you can see because the light may wash it out. But see, then there's two more. There's a shelf there and several shelves. And with those shelves, and then there's more jars on these bolts and screws. And it just makes it easier to find. And like I say, there's that wooden box I got recently. My workbench stays, this is about as clean as it gets because I'll lay stuff on it. And I try not to let it get much worse than this. My little SRD there, and my X-Poxy. Of course, you see the air conditioner, you have to have that in a real hot summer. And then you come back around and you see my bench. And then you come over here to the corner, and probably the biggest change you see in this corner is you see this Cummins grinder in that corner. And recently, I done a video, my other grinder died. And so when it died, I basically, it just completely went out. I think it blowed an armature. So there's a video about me putting lipstick on this one, moving the stands and doing a lot of work to it. So, and then here's my horizontal bandsaw, and it's on wheels where I can roll it around. It's really handy. And one of the things I don't hardly ever show very often is under my workbench. Where you see this rag is where my welder stays. I just keep it covered up because the chips and stuff get flying around. There's a miter saw and a table saw in that corner. And then this Craftsman toolbox you see right here that's mounted to the floor. It's just got stuff in it. Shelves I've added, and then there's another one right over here. Let me see if I can just turn this and pick you up, and there you go. So I'm just going to put this in. Like I say, this is a long-winded video that I'm actually just going to throw in the slop and be coming along. And finally, we get around the corner. And believe it or not, it's taking right now it's taking over almost 12 minutes just to do this. So my toolbox, let's see if I can pull back a little bit, see if I can get it off. If I can't, we'll have to do a panic. That wooden box is a Harbor Freight box. It's not a it is not a Gerstner. None of my boxes are Gerstner, obviously. And then the riser's another toolbox that I own. It happens to be just, some I've had over the years. It's a regular Craftsman box. I keep stuff in it. If you'll notice, I've got my Allen wrenches on either side. They come in different times when I bought them. So this side's Harbor Freight metric, and that side was a cheap set. And I've actually replaced a lot of them over the years and got really good quality standards in it. And then underneath that toolbox is my Husky box. And the Husky box was something I used. It's a really good box. And it's got a lot of milling and lathe and whatnot tooling in it. And then I'm going to move the camera around one more time. I'm just on a tripod and I'm just carrying it to the work. This other bench is not a workbench, it's a tool bench. Basically, this was a workbench. It was built to be a workbench many years ago when I built it. In my very first and second shops, that's what it was. It's now became a tool rest. And basically what it is, this particular drill press, this Craftsman, was one that was here in this shop, and I moved it. It was on the bench. It was way too high, so I moved it, put it here. And I had another drill press, and I gave it to Michael Hale a while back, and it's a Clark. But for the work I do, that drill press is just plenty handy enough. And right beside it is my little Delta 1-inch band sander that basically it was gifted. It was the guy who sold me the mill had it. He got it, and he just told me take it home with me. So when I got home and got to messing with the thing, the switch was messed up. This So I just put a plastic box, that's what I had, and put a regular house switch on it. That arbor press, that's not its permanent home. It's just residing there right now till I decide what to do with it. And then this little small Craftsman drill press has got a deburr in it, and it's been there. It's the first drill press I bought, and I've used it, little bench press, and used it. You can tell it's been in unheated buildings. It's got a little rust on it, but it still works good, and I still use it every day. Or not every day, but regularly. Underneath my workbench is, I put all those are file card cabinet. When I built this workbench, the original idea I had, and it's been modified, is before I started doing machine work, I was actually going to put a standard toolbox on the other end of it and use it as a roll around. So all these cabinets you see underneath are card cabinets I picked up at a City of Kings map auction. So, and then right here in the corner, you seen the video about, excuse the camera drop, and I apologize for that because I ain't got this tight, is the little Craftsman bench grinder. So I just, again, you seen video on this where I've made some modifications to it. So what I've got today is just a little quick 15-minute walk around inside the shop tour update. I'm just going to put on the Slop. And the main reason I like doing this on updating these tours is because things change in the shop, and I've rearranged a little bit. I'm kind of limited to what I can do, and I would tell you that. Let me pull this up. Whoa! Let me clamp you down. I apologize for the two drops, but I'm going to stand here in front of the camera a minute, and I'm going to speak to you. So I've got the cordless mic, my other mic's dead, so it's in my hand here. That's what you see. I hope you enjoyed this. This is just a quick walkthrough of the shop. I thought I'd throw it in a Slop as an update. I'm gonna, something every few months. I like to update what I'm doing in the shop as far as the tours, because there's always, with the shop, everything's flexing. And another thing, I've got pretty good size, full size machines in my shop. So the biggest thing that takes up room in my shop is my mill and my lathe. But I wanted this capacity over here. I had a bench mill at one time, and in some of my real early videos you might have seen my PM, and I had a smaller lathe at one time in a building, and it was handy and it worked. Realistically, I love bigger lathe. I'm not saying I've outgrown my Grizzly, but I would sure love to have my lathe is a 12-inch swing. I'd love to have a 14 or 16-inch swing load, but I really just ain't got the space to put that big a lathe, because realistically it wouldn't fit in this corner, so I've kind of limited on that. The other thing I'd love to have is a surface grinder, but again, I have no space to put the sucker. I mean, cut the place in the floor and put the concrete wouldn't be a problem, but to put a surface grinder in, I'd have to move the toolbox in another building. That ain't gonna work. So, but that being said, this Slop in the shop, I hope you enjoyed this little video tour. We'll catch you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed today's Slop in the shop. I will remind you that this is a copyrighted production of James Dedman Sawlogs Plastic Hubs for your enjoyment here on YouTube. One other thing I want to thank is all the people who subscribe to my channel, and the people who take the time to make comments about things that go on. There's always something that inspires you when you hear the comments. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Click the little button. There's no financial obligation on your part. Also, I still have channel stickers. Emails usually going to be at the end of this for you too. And any other comments you want to make directly to me off of YouTube, you can email me at my email address, which will be at the end of the clip, picture, whatever, at the end of this video. With no further ado, we will see you in the next video.